Hello everyone, my name is Jay and welcome to a brand new episode of IQ Times. This week we had the pleasure of speaking to a representative of Hailstone Labs. For those of you that aren't too familiar with the venture studio, Hailstone Labs is based in Hong Kong and is a research-driven company that focuses on investing in builders in the Web3 space. If you are active in the Hong Kong Web3 community, you might have seen them hold a Hong Kong DeFi night partnered with Frax Finance and Baboon VC, and last month they held another Hong Kong DeFi night partnered with Curve Finance. If you're looking to get incubated and are in the Web3 community, feel free to reach out to them. I will link their webpage and Twitter in the description. Or if you're curious about previous events they've held or just want to read more about them, then the wiki page on Hailstone Labs on IQ Wiki has an extensive list that you can read up on. This week, Kevin helped co-host this episode. Kevin, for those of you that don't know, works for IQ Wiki and leads the Chinese community, and you'll see him more often on IQ Times. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in and enjoy the episode. So the first question is, Scarlett, could you briefly introduce Hailstone Labs and yourself?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I can start off introducing myself first. So I'm born and raised in Hong Kong, and then went to the States for my college in Missouri, studying business and also psychology. And then after I graduated, I worked as a consultant, and then later moved into venture capital, which we managed the Alibaba Hong Kong Entrepreneurs Fund. And then after that, I basically joined crypto. That's back in 2021, somewhere around that. So I've been in the crypto space for almost 2 years. Yeah. So for Hailstone Labs, the company was founded in 2020. We are basically a venture studio headquartered in Hong Kong. So right now we are a team of 70 people. We have been expanding pretty quickly. Yeah. So we have different leading personnel, for example, engineers, researchers, designers, and also marketers as well. So we basically have a full team based in Hong Kong, and also we have several offices global, which in China and in Southeast Asia, in Taiwan, and also in London. Yeah, so we have a huge team in the company. So the vision of the company, we actually aim to build top-tier Web3 projects and propel the adoption of blockchain technology. And hopefully, being in Hong Kong, we can push the mass adoption and then to upscale the level. Yeah, so that's a blurb of what we're doing here in Hailstone. We have, on top of that, we have two major business lines. So the first one is we're an accelerator, so which means that we provide advising and also consulting services to different Web3 projects, and at the same time, we incubate them and to build them into top tier projects. And the other hand is we're also have an investment arm. We're currently managing two funds, and basically want to capture the opportunity in this bear market. And then when it goes to a bull market, hopefully we can monetize and capture the opportunity there.
Wow, that's great to know. I remember, earlier last month I visited your company in Hong Kong. What impressed me most is the enthusiasm from you guys. You have demonstrated those passion on Web3 and crypto. And so there's a question that I was kind of curious about is what made you decide to be in the crypto industry?
What keeps me in the space is that I think in general, the space is very fast paced, and it has a lot of innovative ideas that is very exciting, and I really like digging deep into these kind of product design and mechanisms. And at the same time, the crypto space is very global, or you can call it decentralized, right? It actually connects people from different parts of the world and to build something together together hands in hand. So this is something that really attracts me and to keep me in the space. Like people always say like crypto never rests and there's like no border restrictions. Like this is something that I think it's I really like about it. So for example, like the recent incident with Curve, that Michael had to repay his loan, and then actually the fact that he repays Frax instead of Aave first is because of the inherent the product design of Frax, right? That the interest rate calculation is very different from Aave, that when it hits a certain utilization rate plus the time factor in, then the interest rate actually exponentially increases. So this is some kind of like differentiators between different DeFi products that I think very intrigues me, and it's something that I think is very interesting, and we can learn a lot from a product design point of view that really keeps me in the space. Yeah, so that's basically why I'm still in this space right now.
So going back to Hailstone Labs, you mentioned that you guys are a venture studio with accelerator business. What strategies do you use to build?
Right. I think for Hailstone Labs, one major differentiator for us is that we're very research driven, which means that every business decisions that we made are driven by our research on the industry. So how we do it is that we deep dive into each protocols that we think is worth going over, and to understand, for example, like the product design, the technology behind system architecture, go-to-market strategy, etc., etc. So we do the research in and out so that we know like what's the current pain points in the market, and what are the feasible solutions that might potentially solve the bottlenecks in the industry right now, right? So this kind of research-driven approach, it helps us to provide advice and also consulting services to our clients, and at the same time like incubate new projects, and also to help us make investment decisions. So usually our approach starts with like conducting our own in-house research, and then we make the investments to different projects. And then after we spot these like new projects, and then we help them incubate and with true innovation, and also like maybe some game-changing potentials, so that it can help them to push for mass adoption, and of course like monetize through the process, right? So with that, as a result, we will continue to expand the team, hire more top talents to drive more insightful research, and to generate more insightful, innovative ideas. So in a way, I would say like we have our own strategy starting from research, and then to investment, to incubation, and then to invest a lot more into our talents and the team. So it will ultimately generate a flywheel for the company.
Cool. You guys are doing a lot of things like at the same time. Like that's so respectable, because crypto, like you said, does never sleep, and it's the ones that are successful at adapting that succeed in this business. But speaking of that, there are a lot of other venture builders in the space. You probably get this all the time, but what separates Hailstone Labs from other venture builders?
Right. I think, as I mentioned just now, like research driven is definitely one of the points that differentiate ourselves from the other venture builders. And apart from that, I think our team has a very unique positioning in that we're actually a team led by a team of like crypto OGs and also crypto veterans. They have been in the space for quite a while, and then they come from a builder's background. So basically, the team actually are very experienced in a very entrepreneurial sense, that we know from 0 to 1 the approach to build something from scratch, and then all the nuances and all the hiccups and all the difficulties, challenges that we have to encounter or face during the venture building journey. So I think the experience, the expertise is also what differentiate ourselves. And also, I think lastly is that we do invest a lot in our people. So we don't mind hiring new graduates or fresh blood. Because we do think that these are people that we can train up from the ground up, so that we can train them in a way that teach them crypto knowledge, and then invest in them so that they can feel like they're part of the company and go hands in hands with us to build something new and generate some new innovative ideas. So I think that's why the team, the stickiness is really high in the team, and the culture here is really good.
Cool. This wasn't like this is just like a personal question for me, but can you give us more details about the two funds that you guys are managing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So the first one, Hailstone Ventures, we focus on our early stage DeFi and also infrastructure. So for that one, we have been actively deploying. We have around 5 to 6 portfolios so far. Yeah. So that's one focus on the spectrum and in crypto. And the other fund called Odyssey Venture is a little special in a way that we actually co-GP'd with the movie star Stephen Chow. So I'm sure like you guys know about him. So the mission or what we're trying to do with this fund is that because upcoming he will have different IPs and movies that releasing in the future, and we plan to monetize these IPs and contents and then convert it into different derivatives. For example, like maybe digital assets like NFTs, like toys, apparels, like different products coming out of his IPs, and then to transform them into a different product. So this is the fund that we're setting up right now, and it's something that we will publicly announce probably in a month's time. So this is something that is very interesting and very exciting for the space.
Wow, that's really awesome. Here's those so many valuable information from you. I never heard that before. Last time.
Okay. Yeah, we try to keep it low at that time. But then now everything is pretty much set up, so we'll have some public announcement in the future very soon.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Since you guys are pro in investment area, so another question that comes to my mind is, what's your investment philosophy?
Right. I think maybe I'll speak more for our Hailstone Ventures first, because we have been already deploying capital into different projects, right? So I think for our investment philosophy, we actually are like problem-driven investors that we invest into strong teams that execute solutions with like rational connections to pain points that they're trying to solve. For example, like to build out something from 0 to 1 core infrastructure that will enable like 1 to 100 mass adoption of decentralized applications, and also like we do truly believe in first principle thinking, in that we practice like we try to question every assumption that we know, and then to provide solutions to some complex problem, right? So at the same time, we try to distill like some complex matters into some simplest dimensions, so that we can get to the fundamentals fundamentals metrics and the truth about these projects, right? So I think for the crypto space right now, people are still very skeptical, and they're trying to figure out the business logic. So this actually goes back to the significance of first principle thinking. So this is something that for our Hailstone Ventures Fund, this is we adhere to this kind of investment philosophy to drive our investment decisions.
This is like not what we discussed, but is there like a business cycle that you guys go through? Like, for example, how do you guys scout like potential stuff? And I'm not sure if you've talked about it before, but like, how do you guys like go through, like, is there like a specific criteria do you use to like evaluate like potential stuff like in the crypto space?
Yeah, I think there are three major criteria that we kind of try to identify when evaluating different deals. So this intermediation is definitely one that like with the evolution and the invention of smart contract, it actually takes out the need of intermediaries. So right, so this is hopefully that all the functions and operations can carry out without the involvement of any intermediaries, right? So that's one. Second is that the composability of a project, right? So basically, it's whether the project has a capacity to leverage the work of the others, and then through, for example, like assembling smart contracts in a network of disconnected and distributed participants, so that it enhances, for example, like in an example of DeFi, like it will help improve the capital efficiency of on-chain liquidity, and also like minimize the issues of liquidity fragmentation. Yeah, so that's another point that we're also looking for. And I think the other one, it's also cost of trust. So in Web2, like people actually pay a lot of premium, right? Risk premium that to the service provider for their trust to use their service, right? But then with smart contract, like actually everything is like pre-programmed, automated, right? This should minimize the cost and minimize the friction for people to use the service. So this is, I think these are the three major concepts or criteria that we are looking for when we make any investment decisions. And but that's not limited to these three. So there are other criteria that we also look into. For example, like the team, right? The composition, the experience, the background of the team, the go-to-market strategy, the technology, and also the product designs. So I think there are a whole bunch of factors that we'll evaluate. It's not like a single one-sided dimension that we make our investment decisions. So it's I would say it's a holistic evaluation process.
Wow, it's great to learn that you guys are doing it in an innovative way. I really should put that on my notebook. So when we entered in the crypto space, what we really curious about is how to invest. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I remember when I first entered in this space, I lost a bunch of money. So I learned that lesson from my experience. So anyway, thank you for those insights. So one of the questions that I was curious about is, I learned that Hailstone Labs have some collaborations with the Hong Kong government to promote Web3 digitalization. So could you give us a blurb on that?
Right, yeah. So actually, Kevin, you were on one of the collaboration event as well. So basically, we are organizing Twitter Space AMA every 2 weeks with Invest Hong Kong. So the purpose of this AMA is actually to promote and to educate retail users of the blockchain adoption, and also like the developments of the crypto space. So this is something that we go hands in hands with the Hong Kong government to help them promote, and also at the same time like educate the public. Yeah. So the format is that we'll have different guest speakers from different parties. For example, sometimes are Twitter KOLs, and then sometimes are like founders of centralized exchanges or custody services, right? Different parties that are in the space, and then they will share their insights and their developments, like roadmaps, and then to give more colors to the public about the development of the space. Yeah, so this is something that we're trying to continue and with the Hong Kong government.
Awesome, it's brilliant. It's really a great way to introduce those Web3 related policies and regulations to attract investors. as well as builders from all over the world. So, and people can get to know better about regulatory landscapes for those cryptocurrencies in Hong Kong.
Yeah, actually, after these kind of AMAs, like I get a lot of inquiries from the audience and also like different parties in the space that how is it like in the ecosystem in Hong Kong? Is it very friendly, or is it very welcoming? What are the next step in this in the city? So there are a lot of interests that are generated from the AMA.
Yeah. I saw that you guys invited many different organizations and projects to participate in the AMA event, and it's really a good form for crypto users who can get those valuable information from the event. By the way, I remember that last time when I was reading the Hailstone pages on iq.wiki. So we see that you guys recently made a strategic investment into OneDegree. So could you please elaborate on the collaboration?
Yeah, sure. So maybe a little bit background on OneDegree first. So OneDegree, it's a virtual insurance company in Hong Kong. So they received a virtual insurance license, which they're allowed to provide different general insurance to different parties. And one of the significant product is that they will be offering virtual digital assets insurance. So this is something that it's huge, and it's something that coming up. It will be a trend in the future, especially when Hong Kong has already legalized crypto trading, and they are already distributed going to distribute the VASP license. So this is something that OneDegree is doing, and our strategic investment into OneDegree is actually I want to build a collaboration, a partnership with them, in that we can promote the digital asset insurance, and at the same time we are actually collaborating with them on some different type of research, for example on decentralized insurance. We previously published a paper with Society of Actuaries on decentralized insurance, so we're actually digging deeper into this area to see if there's any potential innovation in the space.
So you guys are okay. For collaborating, like when I work for Frax, I also have to, because I'm working for Frax, I have to like look for potential collaborations as well. And sometimes when people want to collab with us, I have to like do like a sort of semi-screening process. So that, it's very cool. One thing in South Korea is that it's made the news a lot. The government is like putting in new laws for like regulations. If you work for a government company, then you have to like show the government your assets, like you're holding. Like it's passed now, so that's going to be part of the law. Like, what are your thoughts on the current regulatory landscape for cryptocurrencies in Hong Kong? And like, do you guys have like a specific like system, or how do you guys navigate like the compliance requirements?
Right. Currently, I would say Hong Kong is very welcoming and very supportive of the Web3 development. So they're actually legalizing crypto and also digital assets, right? So the first thing is that they issued the VASP license for decentralized exchanges. And they also mentioned that there will be a license for stablecoin potentially next year or 2025. So this is something that we are very excited about, and something that we're looking forward to see how we can capture the market there and to promote the adoption of digital assets, right? So I think for us, like, because we're sitting in Hong Kong, like headquarters here, so we actually enjoy the policy favoritism that there are actually a lot of capital that are pouring into the market, either from China or either from like Southeast Asia or even from the Hong Kong government, right? They carved out a certain amount of capital to invest into blockchain related companies or digital asset related companies. So this is something that will definitely stir up the development of the space. Yeah, so I would say because the Hong Kong government has been very supportive, and they have been doing a lot of like announcements and also like marketing about to push the adoption of Web3. So from my side, like personally, like I receive a lot of inquiries about the developments in Hong Kong, whether people should move here to get into the space, or companies whether they should incorporate in Hong Kong so that they can enjoy more policies that are favorable in the city. So these are something that a lot of like fast moving, changing movements that I'm seeing in Hong Kong.
It's great to know that as we know, regulation is always the hot topic that we cannot avoid in crypto industry. Luckily, we can see the Hong Kong government is moving forward fast, and I hope one day, when people move their business in Hong Kong, they can just focus on building their products, their protocols, and provide valuable products for those crypto users and for mass adoption, and without those policy concerns. Every builders in this industry kind of have a big concern about the regulations, so
I think one thing that really differentiates Hong Kong is that in the states like SEC, they're also legalizing it, and then they're actually trying to push for the regulations part, right? So the recent case with Ripples, and also like the upcoming Bitcoin ETFs, these are some big movements in the space. But we think that because Hong Kong government has been very determined, and then they have been giving really positive signals to legalizing the space, so that we can anticipate like different regulations with it out. So it actually gives a lot of confidence into the space that actually the government is recognizing digital assets. So as long as we do it within their scope, within their rules and regulations, and everything can just like go directly, and then it should be it should not create a lot of concerns or uncertainties in the space, because the government has already like recognized it. Yeah, so actually give a lot of confidence over that.
Yeah, that's really great to hear that. Since there are so many builders from all over the world, they want to find a great place to build. I think Hong Kong is the perfect place. Maybe compared to last time many people compare Hong Kong to Singapore. So I guess this is a chance for Hong Kong too,
Yeah, hopefully we can attract more top tier talents to the city, so that even from the States, Europe, or Southeast Asia, right? Because the policies, like the regulators, are very supportive of this. So hopefully we can see more talents inflow into the city.
Yeah. So okay, personally, I have a question. How do you perceive the current state of cryptocurrency adoption and awareness in Asia, and what impact do you believe it will have on the region's financial landscape?
Right. I think, to be honest, right now we're at the infancy stage, right? We're basically the early adopters. We're definitely not the pioneers, right? The pioneers definitely back in 2012, 2013, right? But then I would say that the next stage of the industry will definitely be to push for mass adoption, right? So I think there are a lot of bottlenecks in the industry. For example, the infrastructure is not ready; it's still capped at a certain transactions pace, and also like the learning curve to switch from Web 2 to Web 3. It's still kind of steep, and for a lot of people, it's very hard to switch to a new user journey. So I think these are something that that are the pain points that need to be solved in order for Web3 to push for higher adoption. Yeah, so this is something that I think we need to work on.
Yeah, totally agree. It's just I believe it's just a time issue. So, IQ.wiki is also building those products for mass adoption. We built IQ.wiki is probably the easiest Web3 dApp to use. You can just search what kind of articles you want to know, and if you want to know something about crypto, you can just go to our site. You can search those projects you are interested in, and we have those NFTs, organizations, and DEX, all of those crypto stuff on IQ.wiki, and let's just moving forward. Since Hailstone Labs is also doing the similar things, but in just you guys are a venture studio, so I just want to know what are the next steps for Hailstone Labs?
Right. I think it's pretty simple for us. Like we just want to keep building, keep researching, and also like keep generating like innovative ideas. Right. I think being in this bear market, we need to be patient. Right. You don't know what's the next trend, and you don't know when's the next wave. So for us, like we try to equip ourselves with different knowledge and different ideas. Right. Just to make sure when there is a boom, then we're ready. We're ready to be there and to capture the next wave. Yeah. So other than that, as I mentioned earlier, right, we're setting up a new fund with Stephen Chow. This is something that you guys can look forward to for the launch. And also we're also holding a DeFi night event with Frex in Singapore. That will be a side event of Token 2049. Yeah. So this is something upcoming in the future for Hailstone Labs.
Awesome.
Cool. That sounds like you guys have a lot of exciting things planned, especially Token 2049 as well. I believe you're going there as well, right, Kevin?
Yeah. Me and Andy, we are going to attend the Token 2049 event. So I'm really excited about it. I look forward to it.
A lot of my friends in DeFi as well, they're all going.
Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like a very cool thing. Since we're nearing the end of the podcast, so I guess we'll wrap it up here. Once again, Scarlett, thank you so much for taking the time out and doing this podcast with us, and thank you to Kevin as well. You guys are going to be seeing more of him as well. Maybe we can have him on as a guest one time, as a in an episode, and ask him about IQ Wiki and his experience here. I guess that's it. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to be coming. We're going to be coming back with more interesting videos like this. The next video is going to be about the BrainDAO statistics and just the development updates. So stay tuned, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Scarlett.
Thank you for the invitation, and thank you for the time.